The screen of this iPhone 15 Pro Max I'm holding is shattered, almost pulverized. The performance overloaded frame offers a better visual experience, a larger screen-to-body ratio, but it makes repairs more difficult after a thorough check. The screen's display and touch are still good, no apparent liquid leakage or dead pixels under a black background. I'm curious how this device got shattered. The screen is smashed, but the frame has no flaws. Could this be the charm of titanium metal? The rear triple camera also had a lens film applied, but it seems redundant now. The telephoto lens glass is dirty, and it looks like internal fingerprints. I'll show you next. I'm not mistaken, right? I'll also remove the other two lens films. The camera already protrudes so much, adding a layer makes it even more pronounced. Sapphire glass is not so easily shattered. I'll unscrew the bottom screws. This kind of edge-shattered screen has its risks when disassembling. I insert a super thin blade into the laser gap, introduce alcohol to soften the waterproof glue. For such a badly shattered screen, it's essential to completely dissolve the glue before opening the screen. This is currently the safest way to disassemble it. After the alcohol permeates, we can slowly open the screen. Remember, don't force it. If the screen loosens a bit, inject some alcohol, then use a plastic piece to scrape while dripping alcohol. Slowly open the screen. Light it up to see. Safely remove it. Loosen the shield screws. Remove the screen. Apply a dust-proof sticker to protect the front camera. The blue light screen bracket still has residual waterproof glue. First, loosen the light sensor cable buckle. Clean off the residual glue on the bracket. Remove the light sensor cable on the heating plate. It's fully removed without damage. Then use a UV machine to scan it. Remove the black paint between the bracket and the cover. You'll understand why later. I've seen many in the industry attempt to separate the cover of the 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max and end up like a time machine that crashed. After scanning, you can see the black paint around has mostly peeled off. This makes it easier for us to separate the lens, because after scanning, the bracket and cover are no longer adhered. Slightly polish the screen with a grinding pen, because the layer is too slippery, making it difficult for us to apply and cure glue. After grinding, apply UV glue. Attach a new tempered film. After curing, the shattered glass won't scatter during separation. Place it in the UV light box for another round of curing. With all these steps, when separating the cover, the entry point won't be mistaken. The resistance of the bracket is also reduced when pulling the wire. Since the phone hasn't been used for long, the OCA is not yet aged and still quite sticky. The resistance when pulling the wire is noticeable. Okay, safely removed, fully separated. Look at the black edges around the cover. The areas adhered to the bracket have been lasered off, so, after lasering, the lens won't be misplaced. The wire follows the glass, achieving a full glue separation. Clean the cover, test it on the motherboard. No scratches, touch and display are normal. But looking closely at this screen, the bracket color is white, and there is no gap between the bracket and the LCD, completely different from models before the 14 series. This is a big problem. With such high precision, how can one accurately position a single LCD to the cover after removing the bracket? Any slight deviation in aligning the LCD will cause the bracket to misalign, leading to screen damage once the bracket is pressed down. If the cover and nail sticker are not removed, how to solve the nail detachment issue? This is our first time repairing a 15 Pro Series screen. With no detailed tutorials online, we have to slowly disassemble and analyze the structure ourselves. If we can't solve the bracket issue, how is it any different from early screen repairs? Nail detachment leading to leakage and unresponsive touch is common. It's no longer about precision repair, but someone has to explore and try. So, I carefully start disassembling the bracket. After opening the bracket, I regret it. This bracket is completely different from previous models, very difficult to remove. After struggling for over 10 minutes, it's still not off. The bottom position, no matter how much alcohol or heat applied, it won't come off, because the bottom is where the ribbon cable is, very fragile and can't be stressed. The chance of failure is high. I felt it was already a lost cause, hurriedly tested it on the motherboard. Thankfully, no heating issue, but I had no choice. Forced to continue, I forcefully removed the bracket, and it's already cracked, violently removed. Remember, this is where the ribbon cable is. The bottom bracket still sticks to the ribbon cable. At this point, I felt the screen was already doomed, but I proceed regardless, my hands trembling. Forcefully removed. Anyone who's repaired screens knows the risk. Miraculously, the screen still lights up, but during the touch test, it's unresponsive. It was fine just before, already damaged. I still try attaching a new cover, clean the screen thoroughly. Since there's no gap between the bracket and LCD, ensure the screen doesn't stick. I reinsert the LCD back into the bracket, prepare a new cover, clean the LCD again, then align with the bracket for bonding, position the cover correctly. Secure it, then remove the bracket, place it on the tray, and bond the cover in the machine. After bonding, there's still a little bubble looking from the back. The alignment is slightly off to the left. Regardless, put it in the bubble remover. Then remove the screen, attach it to the motherboard. Amazingly, the display and touch still work. Truly, repairing this screen would make anyone sweat. A screen worth thousands, but this is as far as I can go. The bracket issue remains unsolved. Looking closely at the original bracket, the manufacturing method of this bracket is definitely not done with AB glue or structural glue, scraping off the black paint on the bracket. There's no AB glue or structural glue in the middle. The white latex on the bracket is the adhesive. Due to the ultra-narrow frame, the precision is extremely high. We've examined the structure under a microscope, concluding that the brackets of the 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max are first attached to the back of the screen, then low-temperature injection molded. With internal molding, the white latex on the bracket is the bracket adhesive, very soft, so if you cannot